guys, my name is Emily Stanford. I'm a zoology major and I have spent a lot of time working with animals, working in zoos, working on animal welfare and things like that. And one of the most important aspects of animal welfare is this thing called enrichment, which is what we're going to be talking about today. I'm going to talk to you guys about what enrichment is, why it's important, and we're actually going to go through together how to make an enrichment device known as a mini nut roller. It's a really easy one to make, and I think it's a really good device for beginners that are getting interested in enrichment or want to know what it is. And I just think it's important for everyone to kind of understand its importance, so you understand, even if you don't work with animals, but you go to the zoo, you're understanding what goes into taking care of those animals. So I'm not at work currently. I don't have all of my tools and supplies that I would usually use to make this device. So we're actually going to be improvising a lot, but I'm going to talk to you guys about what I'm using, what materials you guys should be using at home to make this if you're actually giving it to an animal, but because the things I'm using aren't necessarily animal safe, but they'll get the point across on how to create this device using PVC pipe. So first and foremost, we're going to need a 1 foot long PVC pipe that's about 1.5 inches in diameter. Today I'm using a paper towel roll for this. The other piece of PVC that we're gonna need is a bit smaller. It should be about 2 inches in diameter and about 4 inches. And then if you're making this with PVC, you're gonna need a drill, but I'm using scissors because I'm using cardboard for this model. You're gonna need 2 PVC end caps. I'm using the bottoms of plastic cups. And then basically you're just gonna need a Sharpie and a ruler. It's pretty easy. So the first thing you're gonna wanna do is you're gonna wanna take this 1 foot PVC pipe and you're gonna wanna measure from the end about 1.5 inches inwards, just to make sure your end caps aren't gonna cover anything. So do that, and you're gonna mark it with a Sharpie, and you're gonna do that on both sides. So then you'll have a dot here and a dot here, and then you're gonna go from those dots and you're gonna measure an additional 1.5 inches in, which I've already done. I have another dot, but that is what you'll do. I typically find it easier for this first dot that we did to just go ahead and make it like a dotted or like dashed line all the way around because it makes it easier for later. It doesn't have to be perfect. They're just like reference points for you. As you get used to making them, I don't think you need them as much, but we will do them nonetheless. So that's kind of what we're working with now. And then we're gonna rotate it. So here's the front. We're gonna rotate it 180 degrees to the back. And from one of these dotted lines, we're gonna measure 4.5 inches in. So that's about right there. So the next part of this, you would typically use a drill. Like I said, I don't have one of those, so I'm using scissors. But on all those dots that we just made, we're just gonna go ahead and make them into actual holes. So if you're using a drill, you would typically do about a 3/4 of an inch drill bit, because you want the holes to be big enough where food can come out of them, but small enough that the animal can't stick their whole finger in or their whole hand, because it is supposed to be enriching and they're supposed to be figuring out how to get the food out. Anyway, it's also a lot easier with a drill than whatever I'm doing right now. Improvising is the way. Okay. So those are the first two that we did, and then I'm gonna go ahead and cut into this back one. After we do this, if you're using an actual drill, it's pretty important to go ahead and rinse and clean the device at that point, because you are giving it to animals. You want to make sure there's not any like loose PVC strings or anything inside the container that you're going to be giving to an animal. So we have all of our holes done, and from here it's pretty smooth sailing. You are gonna go ahead, you're gonna take this smaller PVC and you're just gonna put it right on top like this. So this PVC should be pretty snug but able to move and rotate. So once that part is done, you're basically good to go. All you need is to put your end caps on. Typically you would put PVC glue on the edges and you would just go ahead and snap those on like so, and you would let them dry. But you'd want to make sure you're using PVC glue that is safe for animals. And basically this is what a mini nut roller comes to look like. So you have your PVC end caps and your holes, and the purpose is for this top PVC to be able to move and cover the holes so that the animal is expected to move it out of the way of the holes and then manipulate it and keep it out of the way without it coming back to interfere with them attempting to get their food out of it. So this step, this next step is kind of optional, but it's also kind of fun to see how effective your mini nut roller is and make sure it's ready to go. I always like to test it out, so I have some treats. They're like sunflower seeds and peanuts. And we're just gonna throw some into one of these holes, and then we're gonna make sure it works, because you wanna make sure you're giving your animals enrichment devices that actually work and that they're going to get benefit out of them. So I'm just filling up one of these holes with sunflower seeds, and then we'll cover it up. So then you would give that to your primate, and they would have to realize that you need to move it this way and then keep that held, and then they would have to shake it in order to try to get it out. So you might see, I just got one. Specific individuals are gonna be better at it than others. It's pretty tricky. It's supposed to be pretty time consuming, but we did shake quite a few out of there. So it's an effective enrichment device when it isn't super easy. And it is a little bit challenging. So I hope you guys were able to follow along making a mini nut roller with me today. And I hope you guys learned a little bit about enrichment, whether you're in the animal field or not. But thanks.